All right, guys, this is the second electric trike that I've got, but this one has the bigger motor and the bigger battery. I'm going to put it through all the same tests that I put the first one through, and we're going to find out if this thing actually has more power. It claims it has 20 more Newton meters of torque, and it's got 250 more watts of nominal power. This thing could potentially be a beast. And oh yeah, it says that it can go 3 miles an hour faster than the 500 watt version. Let's go ahead, let's get it out on the road, and let's find out. Okay guys, I want to be super transparent in my videos, so I wanted to let you guys know that Lectric did send me this bike to review. They did not ask for anything specific to be in the review, and they did not ask to see this footage prior to me actually posting it. All the opinions in here are my opinions and what I truly think of this particular bike. All right, let's get back to the review. All right, we're out here on the Lectric Trike 2. This thing is super fun. I just love this bike. I've been using it around my land to hook up a little trailer to it and tote stuff around. It's super capable. And I personally am noticing a big power difference in the 500 watt version versus the 750 watt version. This one is a beast. And I even let my mother-in-law get on this one and try it because she's currently riding around the 500 watt version and she absolutely loves it. It's given her so much more freedom than what she's had before. And whenever she got on this one, she could instantly tell the big power boost on this particular bike. Now, this does have a torque sensor as opposed to a cadence sensor, which I think is a nice upgrade over the 500 watt version. And you do get a little bit bigger battery. So you can expect roughly about 20 more miles of range is what they're claiming on this. We'll go over all the specs of the battery here in just a little bit. But right now we're going to do the pedal assist test, and I'm in eco mode and I'm going about 9 miles an hour. In tour mode, picks up. Get around this turn here. Woo! Cruising. We're going about 14. So the big thing is I can feel the power right there. We're going about 17 in sport. Now that's the max. The big thing that you're going to notice whenever you get on one of these trikes is the fact that it gets up to those speeds faster. And right now I'm in turbo mode and I'm going 17.2, 17.3, which is technically 3 miles an hour faster than what we would see on the 500 watt version. So your speed isn't necessarily limited by your pedal assist. The way that I have this set up, there are settings in the menu that I believe you can adjust that, and you can kind of put it into a beginner mode and all that stuff. And we'll take a look at the menu system whenever we get back to the house. But for right now, just know that the max speed, it is capable of hitting that. And even though I have a torque sensor, it kind of acts a little bit like a cadence sensor because I'm just lightly pedaling. I'm not actually putting pressure on, and I'm maintaining the 17 miles an hour, which in my opinion is really nice. Now, whenever we get to the 20 mile an hour test and the hill climb test, I'm going to display the times of what the 500 watt version did, so you guys can see whether or not this one outperforms that particular bike in those tests, because honestly, that's where the strong suit should be for the 750 watt version. It should have better hill climbing ability, and it should have better 0 to 20 speeds. We know that the max speed isn't going to be 20, so technically it's going to be a little bit less than that. You're looking at 17 on this one and 15 on the 500 watt version. But we'll see what it takes to get up to maximum speed on this bike. All right, so what we're going to do real quick is we're going to do a brake test. We're going to see how fast this bike can actually brake. I have a feeling it's going to brake really well. The 500 watt version did, and that was primarily because the weight of this bike and just having 3 points of contact. So let's go ahead, let's just put it in turbo. We'll throttle it, get it up to highest speed as we can, and then brake. Oh yeah, these things stop so insanely fast. These Star Union brakes work really well, and there's not really much else to say. That these bikes just, they have 3 points of traction, contact with the ground, so they're gonna brake really, really well. And these brakes feel super, super good. I do like how they have these like little locks on them. Since you don't have a kickstand any way to stop this thing from rolling, these little blue locks that you find right here, you just pivot them down, squeeze the brake, and it pulls the brake in and locks it. You tilt it back towards you, squeeze the brake again, and it unlocks it. So it's kind of like a parking brake in some ways. So there you go. That was the brake test. This bike is already proving to be pretty dang peppy. We saw it get up to that maximum speed of over 17 miles an hour. We already know that this thing can brake like crazy. This thing stopped faster than any bike that I've tested, and there's 3 points of contact. Let's go ahead and test switching between throttle and the pedal assist, which again, this one is running a torque sensor. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to just kind of get this going. We'll get it up to about 5 or 6 miles an hour. We're throttling through this. Now we're pedaling. Ooh, that throttle is vicious. I mean, that pedal assist is vicious. It really got up there. Okay, let's slow down. Let's slow down. And then we're going to pedal. And then we're going to switch the throttle. Yeah, it's pretty much instant. I mean, the sensor switching on this is pretty impressive. I really like the throttle on this bike. So we're gonna get it turned around here, and I'm gonna do maximum speed to see exactly how quick we can get up to the 17 miles an hour. And we're gonna start that in 3, 2, 1, go. And the sensor kicked in relatively quick, about a quarter of a turn. And we are at 17. So pretty quick to maximum speed. Now this is on turbo mode and it's also on standard. There is a beginner mode which kind of limits everything, which I personally think is great because a lot of times people who are getting ready to ride on a trike probably haven't been on a regular bike in several years. And that's one of the reasons why they are probably purchasing a trike, or one of the reasons why maybe you're looking at getting a trike is you want to feel stable and you want to feel comfortable. Well, with this, you can. It's got that beginner mode, so you don't have to start out super aggressive. So now let's go ahead and do the 0 to max speed with the throttle. In 3, 2, 1, go. Good acceleration. And we are at 15 and 17. So really impressive. This bike just has a lot of pep. There is a big difference, in my opinion, between this and the 500 watt version. The 500 watt version is very subtle, but has plenty of power. Enough power to kind of like make you feel like you're not going to struggle going up any hills or anything like this. Let's take a look at a few of the niceties on this bike. So if you notice down there, there is a little hook on the bottom. Here's some images or videos of me using that hook to tote one of my gorilla carts around my property. So handy. This thing is very capable off-road through fields, through grass, through gravel. It wouldn't fit down like a single track mountain bike trail, and I wouldn't take it on extremely rough stuff, but through your yard, this bike is very capable. You've also got a nice rear light back here that is brake actuated so people can see when you're stopping. You've got some turn signals built in and a reflector. And then if you look way down in here, and we'll get into more details on this, there's the brakes down in here, and the brake is actually protected on the lower side, so you don't have to worry about hitting anything and damaging that. The bike technically folds in half, which is really cool if you want to fit this into, say, like an SUV, and even the handlebars fold down. The basket up front, mine came with an extension, so I got the basket on there to be able to put the headlight on. This bike is just super nice. The Cloud 50 front suspension just eliminates those little bumps you'll find in the road, making it a little bit smoother. Now that we've talked about this bike quite a bit, let's go ahead, let's take this back to the house. I want to show you guys some more close-ups of the motor, the brake setup, how this thing is up close and personal, and then kind of go over some of the other details that I may have missed in this conversation. And then we're going to go hit up the big hill. And then whenever we do get to the hill, I'm going to show you guys the times for the 500 watt version versus the 750 watt version. Let's go ahead. Let's go. I don't even know how heavy this is, and I don't know if my scale can actually handle it, but we're going to attempt to weigh this to see what the actual weight is on one of these trikes. Let's give it a shot. All right, that's as high as I want to raise this thing. Let's see what it weighs. 104 pounds and 12 ounces. That's what I keep seeing on the scale. That's actually lighter than what I thought. I thought it was going to weigh at least 120 pounds. That's maxing out this stand, and it's almost maxing out the scale. Pretty wild. Going up. All right, guys, now that we're back here in the studio, I just want to go over a couple of the features that are different on this version versus the 500 watt version. If you want to see more detail on this bike, you may want to check out the 500 watt version because pretty much everything on this bike is the exact same except for a few key components. One is this battery. This battery is actually designed to go 80 miles instead of 60 miles. So you're getting about 20 more miles of estimated range out of the 750 watt version, which is really nice because it gives you the option to go a little bit further without having to have any kind of range anxiety. And then the other thing that is going to be different is going to be the motor. And this is a good look at the motor right here. This motor is super heavy duty. It's not a standard 750 watt motor. This motor has a nice metal casing around it with some heat sinks. Looks totally different than the motor that comes on the 500 watt version. The 500 watt version looks like a standard e-bike motor that would be in the back of a rear hub on a bike. This one looks like it's actually specifically made to be ran on something like a trike. So I really like to see that. I'm really hoping with that metal casing that everything is beefed up a little bit just to make it a little bit stronger. And this motor is going to actually produce 85 Newton meters of torque instead of 65. So again, you get 20 more Newton meters of torque, 20 more miles of range. This thing is definitely beefed up. Now, the one other thing that's going to be different on this bike is the torque sensor down here. You're going to have that torque sensor instead of just a cadence sensor. And I really like the way this torque sensor felt. It was a nice kind of like in between a torque sensor and a cadence sensor feel. And I think that's how Lectric likes to have their torque sensors, kind of to where they emulate a torque sensor in certain moments, but then also they have the advantages of a cadence sensor in other moments. So those are going to be the key differences on this 750 watt version. Bigger motor, more power, longer range battery, and a torque sensor. All right, let's go ahead, let's go back out and let's hit up the hill and see how fast this can climb the hill in comparison to the 500 watt version. All right, guys, we're here at the big hill on the 750 watt Trike 2 by Lectric. Let's see how this thing does. You're going to hear the audio from the pedal assist version, but you'll also see a throttle version as I go up the hill. We'll see if it makes it up the hill with throttle, and we'll also see how it makes it up the hill with pedal assist. Now remember, this is a torque sensor, not a cadence sensor like the 500 watt version. And here are the times that the 500 watt version made it up with throttle and pedal assist. Let's see if the 750 watt version can actually beat that. In 3, 2, 1, go. We're gonna get pedaling. I do have this in turbo mode, so we are gonna see how this does. This trike has some juice, man. It really does pick up surprisingly fast, especially for how big a trike is. You would think that it would be a little bit tough to get it going as quick as it can, but this thing does amazingly well, and even the 500 watt version is very surprising. Now, this is where it's going to get to about 19% up here at the driveway, and this is the same hill that I do all these tests on. This hill runs for about, not quite a quarter mile, it's about 1/10 of a mile, I think. And we're keeping it about 9 miles an hour right now, 9.5. And dropping down into 8. We're at 8.5, but this thing is pushing really well. Now, typically I say if it can't make it up the hill above 10 miles an hour, it's not a good hill climber, but I don't feel that way about this trike because I'm not putting in any effort and it's still pulling me up. And I think this is a really good time for a trike, and there we go. So that was the hill climb with pedal assist, and I think it did really well. My expectations for speed going up it is a lot lower than if we were to do this with, say, a bike that was like a class 3 e-bike or even a class 2 e-bike. So did really, really good. Okay, let's take a look at the screens that Lectric offers. This is a super nice screen compared to previous models. This particular screen is their upgraded screen, which comes on all of the new Lectric bikes. You get your speed right here. You get your pedal assist right there. As you can see, we can scroll through each one by pressing the up and down button on the control pad. And then you also have your turn signals will appear right up here and then right over here. And then if you tap the power button, you do get some more information like your speed, average speed, trip time, trip distance, and your odometer. If you tap it again, you'll go over to the next screen. You can see your cadence, your motor power, your amps, and your voltage. And then if you want to go into the menu, you just hold down the plus and minus button. The menu system is super improved on this. I'm going to go ahead and turn down the brightness on this just because it's a little bit bright with my camera. And that's how you do that. You just tap the power button, goes in. You've got 3 levels of brightness. You've got your sleep settings right here, and it defaults in at 15 minutes. You've got your distance units, miles per hour and kilometer. Everything is laid out really nicely here, which I really like. Your trip time, which is going to basically determine whether or not you detect whether you're moving or you're not moving. I really like that you can do this because a lot of times trip times, you just leave the bike on and it'll just like run the timer. With this one, it actually knows if you're moving. It's more of like your ride time, which I really like. Your tire size, I wouldn't mess with that. Your bike classification, you can either be a class 1 or a class 2. I put it at class 2. Your rider mode, this is the beginner mode I was talking about. And then you have your standard mode. And then you have your throttle and pedal assist. So basically you can change how your throttle works versus how your pedal assist works. I set them both to active on my particular bike. Your throttle output. So basically this is where I was saying that you can be limited based off of your pedal assist levels. Mine is full throttle no matter what pedal assist level. And that's how I like to do it. I like my throttle to be able to go full speed regardless, but if you want to limit it, you can just set it to that and it will only go as fast as that pedal assist level allows. Then you can change between a cadence and a torque sensor. So you've got your torque sensor and your cadence sensor. Defaults in at your torque sensor. Your throttle 0 start. So this will basically say, do you have to move to be able to use your throttle or can you do it standstill? You got your walk mode, your light operations. So you can do different things like have it flash, your odometer reset, and that's your menu. So there you go. That's the Lectric Trike 2 750 watt version. And kind of some comparisons between it and the 500 watt version. I don't think you can go wrong with either one. I see the joy that my mother-in-law gets out of riding the 500 watt version. It allows her to get out and ride with my father-in-law. And that just absolutely makes it totally worth having a trike around. I think that it's so cool to see them go out and ride, and it gives her a chance to explore where if we had a regular bike, she just wouldn't feel as secure or safe on it. Now, if you're having a hard time picking between the two, I would say that if you want to conquer some hills in your area, get the 750 watt version. If you live in a flat area or you're going to be mainly riding these on flat terrain, like taking it to a greenway trail or something like that, the 500 watt version is more than enough. The other thing is if you wanted to hit that peak speed of 17 miles an hour instead of 14 miles an hour, those are kind of the things that you need to weigh whenever it comes to which bike you actually pick. I really like this one for around my yard to be able to pull my little wagon behind me, but otherwise, both are really nice trikes and they come in at such a killer price. I can't believe you can get this much bike for under $2,000. I'd figure something like this would be well upwards of the mid $2,000 range, but Lectric has the price down just right, so they are affordable and accessible for so many people. All right, guys, if you've enjoyed my videos and you want to pick up a trike, I would appreciate it if you used my links down below. Those are affiliated links. Does help out this channel. No additional cost to you. You still get the lowest price possible through Lectric. And if you like this stuff, hit the subscribe button. It really helps my channel grow and I greatly appreciate it. We just recently hit 10,000 subscribers and we're continuing to grow. And I am super, super grateful for that. But make sure you hit the like button, leave me a comment. But as always, get out there and ride your e-bike or maybe your e-trike.